Hey YouTube. Well, this is just a video because I watched a National Geographic video and, well, I mean, it had me thinking. And I don't doubt what the guy's saying. I just had a different theory. And it's always good to chuck different theories out there. It was about Sodom and Gomorrah and how, he was trying to locate the city or cities, and he was jumping to these conclusions, but I think what he was failing to do is I would say that a lot of these people are putting these very elaborate stories of events happening in order to fit a narrative, and you don't need to do that. All I can say is, so let's look at it just from a scientific perspective. Let's take the mythology out, and let's just go, okay, well, what events transpired with these two cities that we know of today that probably would have led to the events of the story taking place? So, excluding God, excluding the narrative, excluding the mythology, just accepting the scientific facts from the story. So what we know is it was buried in fire. Lot's wife looked back at the city, turned into pillar of salt. Okay, so maybe it wasn't salt. Maybe let's exclude the word salt and maybe use pyroclastic flow. Maybe she got hit with a pyroclastic flow. Maybe the whole idea of don't turn around and look at it is if you spend 1 second looking at that pyroclastic flow, you're dead. So maybe that. I mean, we know that Pompeii and Herculaneum both were buried in volcanic eruptions. And what we know also is that descriptions of the original or of the First Testament Bible God is that it was a volcano god. So we know volcanoes were a thing back then, obviously. They've been a thing throughout the dawn of time. And we also know that the Dead Sea area is on a fault line. Fault lines usually lead to volcanoes. Pretty sure if you look for an erupted volcano around the Dead Sea, probably where this place probably was. That would be scientific. That's using Occam's razor, okay? That's just using the simplest answer is probably the most correct one. No need to add an elaborate story. Just use simple facts. Okay, this happened, this happened, this happened. What does that look like? That's what that looks like. I don't know why that's so controversial for some people. That, obviously, even from Pompeii and Herculaneum times, people didn't know volcanoes were that dangerous. Otherwise, they wouldn't build right on top of them or next to them, would they? So if they didn't know that then, thousands of years before, if they didn't know that, what are they going to do? The land is fertile, etc., etc., etc. So, I mean, look, it is pretty, I think it pretty much answers itself, but I mean, look, tell me what you think, guys. I mean, it's pretty obvious to me, but and look, I know I don't know specifically around the Dead Sea if there is any volcanoes or been volcanic activity. A friend of mine was telling me that there has been, so perhaps there was, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was. I mean, they mentioned tar pits and whatnot in this documentary. Well, I don't know if that's any relation. I don't think so. But anyway, look, they mentioned sulfurs in the area, and sulfur is a volcanic eruptive material. That's known. So I mean, look, it's probable that there was a volcano around there. I mean, and also, like, if you look in Indonesia today, they mine sulfur on a volcano. So just saying, have a look at it, guys. Think about it, and yes, definitely First Testament God is definitely a volcano. Just look at the description of how they describe it. Everything. It's really not that complicated. Like, you look at it and go, okay, yeah, First Testament God, 100% volcano. Can't be anything else. Anyway, peace.